So in this video, we'll be solving some examples based on the proofs we've gotten all so far, which are the sum of angles in a triangle is equal to 180 degrees and the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles. So we start with this question. In triangle ABC, the bisectors of angle B, which is this line, and angle C meet at a point I, and we've been tasked to prove that BIC, that's this angle here, is equal to 90 degrees plus half of angle A. Okay, having seen that, this is a proof question. Okay, let's see how we go about proving questions. So the first thing we are going to do is, when we look at this triangle, we can see it is made up of, it's a big triangle that is made up of another smaller one that is inside of it. So we could start from anywhere. We could start from the outside triangle, we could start from the inner triangle. So since this statement starts from angle BIC, which is this angle that is under this letter I, sorry, that thing is faint, but we could manage. Okay, so let's start there. Anyway, let's start with what we are to prove. We've been given this triangle ABC, right? So let's start with to prove. So what we are to prove is that angle BIC is equal to 90 degrees plus half of angle A. This is quite faint. Okay, we are going to start by saying that angle BIC, so we are looking into this smaller triangle, this one inside here, that is triangle BIC. We'll say that angle BIC, the vertex at I, is equal to, no, angle BIC, which is this angle, plus half angle B. Why is it half angle B? Because we are told that this line bisects angle B as a whole. So bisecting means dividing into two equal parts. Therefore, this part that makes this triangle is half of whatever angle B is. So plus half angle B plus half angle C are all equal to 180 degrees. And we know the reason for making these mathematical statements, right? Sum of angles in a triangle. Sum of angles in a triangle. Always write your reasons. They are so helpful. Okay. So having made this statement, let's just arrange this. And one thing I would like to do is to make this B angle BIC the subject of the formula. So I'm going to have angle BIC here. I'm going to have it as, okay, let's just solve in steps. This half can be brought together, so half of angle B plus angle C. So they could be brought together, they could be factored in, equal to 180 degrees. So we sent this over to this side so that BIC could be the subject of the equation. Angle BIC is equal to 180 degrees minus half of angle B plus angle C. Beautiful. So let's keep this aside. Now let's look at the bigger triangle. We know that this is angle C. We know that angle A plus B plus C are all equal to 180 degrees, and it's the same reason. So we write it down that angle A plus B plus C are all equal to 180 degrees, and they are sum of angles angles in a triangle. Okay, Now, when we look at this first statement, let me call this equation 1. When we look at this first statement, we could see B and C. And when we look at what we've been given to prove, we see that B and C are not there. So we can make B and C the subject of the equation in this one. Why did I choose this one? Because this is already the subject of the formula, just like what we are to prove. Is that clear now? So we're going to make this B plus C as subject of the equation. So leaving it on this side, we are going to have that angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees, which is already on this side, minus angle A, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to substitute this into equation 1. So when we substitute into equation 1, we are going to have that BIC, which is this equation 1, is equal to 180 in this equation 1 minus half from equation 1. But instead of having B plus C, we are going to have this as their replacement. 180 degrees minus angle A. So our job is to relate the things we have in our proof together. So having that, we are going to say that we are going to open up the bracket. 180 degrees minus half of 180 is 90 degrees, and then minus times minus this, giving us plus half angle A. So remember, this is all equal to BIC, angle BIC. Okay, now we are going to have that angle BIC is equal to 180 minus 90 is 90 degrees, and then we bring down plus half angle A, which when you look clearly, you can see that that is what we were given to prove. So we've proved what we were told to do, and we stop here. Okay, now we are presented with the second example, that we are to find the value of the angle marked M. So here we have 33 degrees, we have 22 degrees, and this is of course a corner angle, that's 90 degrees. Okay, given this, we have to do a little construction. We could see this line is bent, right? So we will have to do a little construction. We are going to produce this line to have two triangles. We are going to extend the line X to meet line YZ at a point. Let's call that point P, for example. So we extended this line, fine. Okay, we are going to, so we now have a right angle triangle, right? And then we have this angle here, and of course it's an obtuse angle because this angle is bigger than 90 degrees. Okay, so we now have this angle, and we now have, let me have another color, and we have this other angle. Okay, so we are going to name our angles. We are going to have our angles have names. So this, let me call this A, let me call this B, and then this is C. These are the new angles that this little line created inside the given shape. Oh, okay. So what we are going to do is, for this angle, let's find what it's equal to. So this is 90, this is 33. Finding A is very, very easy. We are going to say that angle A plus 33 degrees plus 90 degrees is equal to what? 180 degrees. And our reason for making this statement is sum of angles in triangle. In a triangle. Beautiful. Okay, so we have that angle A is equal to 180 minus 90, which is 90, minus 33, which is equal to 57 degrees. So angle A is 57 degrees. Okay, so we have angle B, and we have that angle B is also equal to 33 plus 90. We would have gone straight ahead to do that. That angle B is equal to 33 plus 90, and our reason for making this statement is it is the exterior angle of this triangle. So giving us that the sum of these opposite interior angles is equal to angle B. That is where we should have started immediately. But no problem. You could take all the steps one by one. You could actually try to skip some steps. Okay, but having found this 57, we can actually focus on this other angle, this other triangle. Now, for this other triangle that we have here, this angle MPZ, if we call this point M, we have that this angle A is actually the exterior angle for this triangle. So angle A is equal to C plus 22, right? Good. So let's just start from this so we can make use of the fact that we've had a theorem called sum of angles, that the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles. So we are going to have that angle A is equal to, as this is the exterior angle, being equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles, C plus 22. And then we'll ask, why are we solving all these things? Because we needed to find this angle M. And angle M, since we've divided this, is equal to, this is angle at a point. That is, this whole angle is angle at a point. So when we subtract this angle on a straight line, 180 from this, so angle M plus angle C will be equal to 180 degrees because they are now on this straight line. So we needed to find what angle C is. So we found what angle A is, 57. Then when we find angle C, we'll just say 180 minus angle C will give us the given the question we have to look for, right? Okay, so that's why we are going all around. Okay, we have that angle A, which is 57 degrees, is equal to C plus 22. Now, we have that angle C is equal to 57 minus 22, which is equal to 7 minus 2 is 5, 5 minus 2 is 3. So angle C is equal to 35 degrees. Okay, so we found angle C, and we can see from this line we extended is a straight line. We can see that angle M and angle C are on a straight line. We could even use angle at a point. You know that this part is 180 degrees because this is a straight line. But let's just use angle on a straight line, right? Okay, so we have that angle M plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. Okay, I didn't write the reason for this. We should always have our reasons for making our statements. So at that angle A is equal to C plus 22. That is exterior angle of a triangle. Exterior, EXC in short, angle of a triangle. So that M plus C is 180 is angles on a straight line. Straight line. Okay. So we have that angle M, we don't know, is equal to 180. Angle C is 35. Okay, so which is equal to, we borrowed 1, this is remaining 7. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 3 is 4. And then we bring down 1. So angle M is equal to 145 degrees. So we've solved this. So just go ahead, practice what we have done so far, and very soon you'll begin to make use of theoretical geometry.